Hi, today we're going to look at Pythagoras' theorem. So if you recall, Pythagoras' theorem said the square and any right angle triangle, the square and the hypotenuse. So this one here is the hypotenuse, we're going to call that C. Square and the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides, called A and B. So what that means is the square and the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares, so B squared, and the sum means plus of the other two sides. So what that does, it allows us to find unknown sides of the triangle. So again, we have a triangle here, right angles here, x, and we call this 4 centimeters. So because it's a right triangle, we know we can use Pythagoras' theorem to find the unknown length. So first thing we always do is we write the formula. So c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Second thing we always do is substitute. So instead of c, we're going to put in x squared. And then it doesn't really matter if a or b here is not essential. The only one that really matters is the hypotenuse. These are sort of interchangeable, really. However, just for argument's sake, I'm going to put a as 3 squared, plus b as 4 squared. So then third thing I do is solve. So it's x squared is equal to 9 plus 16, which is equal to 25. X squared equals 25. X, the opposite of x squared, the inverse action is the square root. 25, x equals 5. So that was if you're given the hypotenuse, trying to find the hypotenuse. Similarly, you can use it to find a side. So let's say we're drawing it the other way around, just to show you that it's not always the same. Let's say you've got 8 centimeters, 5 centimeters, and then you're asked to find y here. So again, first thing we do is always write the formula. C squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. C here is the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse in this one, if you go from the angle here, the longest side, 8 centimeters, but it's always opposite the right angle. So 8 squared is equal to, and I'm just going to call this a. It doesn't really matter which one I did, but I'm going to call it 5, and therefore if that's a, this has to be b, y squared. So I want to get the y all by itself. So what I can do here is I subtract this one from both sides. This is a bit of algebra, if you remember. So it's 8 squared minus 5 squared equals 5 squared minus 5 squared plus y squared. These two cancel, and then I'm left with 8 squared minus 5 squared equals y squared. So it's 64 minus 25 equals y squared. You can just put all this into your calculator here and get an answer. However, I'm just showing you long ways. So it's 39 equals y squared. I'm going to flip that round, so y becomes the main focus. So it's y squared equals 39, which is the same thing. Just flip it round. And again, then we're left with the inverse. So what's the opposite action of squared? It's square root. So y is equal to the square root of 39. I'm going to need my calculator to calculate that one because it's not an easy one. So it's second function. So first of all, I clear the calculator. Second function, and then square root button 39, and then my answer is this, and then I press the 2 buttons here, and I get 6.24. I'm going to go to 2 decimal places. So y equals 6.24, and the answer is centimeters. So that's finding the hypotenuse, was in the first example, and this one here is finding a side. You can also use it to find unknown answers, right? So if you're given a worded question, let's say the worded question is a ladder is 5 meters from a wall. The top of the ladder is 7 meters from the ground. How long is the ladder? Okay, so basically we have a wall. you've got the ground, and then you also have your ladder. So first thing I do is I draw it, right? Wall, ladder, ground. The wall and the ground are at 90-degree angle. At least they should be anyway, depending on the builder, but hopefully they're at 90-degree angle, otherwise you might have trouble with your building. We're going to say for the arguments that they're at 90-degree angles. Next thing you do is you put in what your information. So the ladder is, the base of the ladder is 5 meters, so 5 meters from a wall. So here, that's the wall, so that's the wall, ground, ladder. So it's 5 meters from the base of the wall, so it's 5 meters there. And then the ladder is 7 meters from the ground, so 7 meters from the ground, the top of the ladder. Top of the ladder is 7, so top of ladder is 7 meters, so that's 7 meters up here. So now suddenly you can see that you have a right angle triangle, and you can use Pythagoras' theorem to solve it because you've been given two sides. So therefore, again, we're looking for x here, which is on this side is the hypotenuse. So if I do my formula again, so it's c squared equals a squared plus b squared. And so next thing we do is we substitute. So it's instead of c, it's x squared is equal to, and then these are again interchangeable, 7 squared plus 5 squared. Again, I'm going to do this longhand. So x squared is equal to 49 plus 25. And if I continue that down, x squared is equal to 74. The opposite of square is square root. X is equal to the square root of 74. Again, using my calculator, second function, square root, 74, enter, double press this button to see what my answer is, and I'm going to go again to go to just some places. It's 8.6. X equals 8.6. Answer here is in meters, 8.6 meters. So that was today's lesson. It was just a little recap on Pythagoras' theorem, explain what it was, shows you how to find the hypotenuse or an unknown side, and it also showed you how to answer a worded question. Always in worded question for something like this, construct a diagram, draw the diagram first. It makes it a whole lot easier to figure it out, and then again always use the steps. Formula, substitute, solve. You won't always use this in all mathematics, however for measurement you do use it most of the time. Formula, substitute, solve. Hope this helps. Have a nice day.